Hola, this is Chris again. This is the next game I'm on. I beat Jedi Fallen Order. The good game, a lot of fun, very much faster paced than Elden Ring was, or even I think than Horizon is. I'm kind of consuming games that way, going through a bunch of old games I wanted to play very quickly so that I can hopefully get caught up and be able to hold a conversation with the young people. Kind of wanted to do this recording because it's kind of late right now, and I miss talking to people in my car, going on long car rides, just kind of driving around. Words just came more easily to me when I was driving around. So, and I think now that I'm a bit older, I kind of understand why that is. There's a part of my brain, I think, that limits what I'm saying. I try to be a little bit more thoughtful, or I sometimes think too much about what I'm going to say, and still at the same time make some knee-jerk reactions where I end up saying a dumb thing, or I don't know. It's like I get a bundle of thoughts that all build up at the same time, and then because I'm unable to process properly, the next thought that comes into my head just gets blurted out. But all those processes are kind of simplified when I'm playing a game like this, or when I'm just driving around in my car. It's why I miss those talks, those late night talks I used to have. And unfortunately, my relationships with people in my life aren't like they used to be anymore, where people don't necessarily have the time. They all have, most of my relatives, they all have people who I used to do these long car rides with. They either have some hang-ups where they don't want to do these sorts of drives anymore, or they or they're just too busy. I'm getting to the age where most of my friends, people I grew up with, are middle-aged now. I mean, 35, I believe, is when you officially become middle-aged. I know that, the traditionally over-the-hill age is 40. And almost everybody I know now is a little bit older. And most people who are at my age have a life that they've set up. My cousins all have kids, and my sister and brother all have families and stuff that, these responsibilities, they take up a lot of your time. Sorry, sometimes the distraction's a little bit too much. But so I can't really have those nice long talks anymore, and I think maybe that's what I'm going to start using these videos for, is to kind of do some musings. And it's not so much necessarily for other people to consume as it is that I'm talking to the ether. Not like a blog or a diary or something, but it provides just the right amount of distraction, and the idea of making a video of it is just enough of an excuse for me to talk, so that I can work out some of the stuff that I, think about, or, muse. It's just musings over a game. You'll notice that a lot of the games I'm posting on here are kind of difficult. I mean, they're not the only games that I play, but I have been playing some more difficult games recently, like Elden Ring and Jedi Fallen Order. I think it's a very difficult game. Like I said, I think it's more difficult in some ways than even like Elden Ring. But if you get it, there's a lot less reaction time for it. And part of the reason why I'm playing these more difficult games is because I want to prove to myself that I still can. Because another thing that comes with getting older is the slowing of your reaction times. I went back and I tried to play Mega Man X, and I know a lot of people, if they're watching me play these games, and I'd be like, well, he's not very good. You know, he gets hurt a lot, he makes a lot of mistakes. But you got to understand, I've always kind of struggled with stuff where I have to react very quickly to things. I've never really excelled in having the instinct to make the right decisions. A lot of practice can kind of help with that. Like back in the Halo 2 days, I think my instincts actually got pretty good. But for that kind of thing, I had to play consistently or I would lose my edge. But for me, it's always easier and more effective and reliable to kind of plan things out beforehand. I've heard from various martial artists that you don't want to do that in a fight or in like some sort of competition, that your brain can react a lot faster than your thoughts can. Your involuntary nervous system is faster than your voluntary nervous system. So, but it doesn't work that way when I make those rush decisions or when I try and play instinctually. I end up making a lot of mistakes over and over and over again, and the only way to really kind of get around that is to practice. And at this point, with me getting older and my reactions getting slower, I'm not sure they were ever all that great to begin with, because I'm not in good physical shape. It's one of the reasons why competitive players have to work out, and why I think video gaming is actually, competitive gaming is a legitimate sport, is because you have to push your mind and your body to game. And people might think, oh, that's bunk, but like if you're not in good shape, you suffer in the games you play. Things become harder. But anyway, it's just, I find it more effective to kind of plan things out a little bit. Sometimes even just like a few seconds ahead of time. And unfortunately, that doesn't make making adjustments to those plans very easy. You kind of get locked into an action. So I'm playing these more difficult games just to kind of prove that I still can. And also I'm hoping to kind of exercise whatever part of my brain lets me play these games so I can play them longer. Like as I get older, keep playing games. So I'm playing more difficult games now so that when I'm older and my reflexes are even more slowed and it's harder for me to learn things or pick up on things, that I can still do what I love. I can still play video games because I really do enjoy this interactive medium. Like you can even tell listening to me how easily I'm talking and how much I'm talking. That at the very least, it's relaxing a part of my brain that normally interrupts what I want to say and what I'm doing. So I just want to keep doing it, you know? So I might start doing videos like this where I'm just kind of rambling on about stuff. I don't know, who knows? Maybe if some people want to respond to what I have to say, somebody stumbles across this video for whatever reason, or stumbles across another one of my videos for whatever reason, then it can become a conversation, and that might be fun too. Because then I'm acting and thinking very fluidly about what I'm saying, and I can actually have a conversation like that, which is a great way, I think, for me to grow as a person. Always trying to do that. Always trying to grow as a person. I'm not sure. I think it's an instinct. I really do. Because it's not something that I seem to see. There was one of those. I tried to react to that. And because I am used to, in other games, the dodge button being the circle button, I forgot that the dash button is, in fact, the R2 button. And I didn't even know it's the R2 button without looking at it. That's how, how bad I am. Yeah, I want to keep playing games pretty much forever, I think. Even though I don't really have a lot of friends who play, I really like this bug. I think it's a she. It's got a feminine voice, but I suppose that's not really appropriate to assume that, huh? I think of it that way, I suppose. But this insect is very adorable, and I like it. The downside of this kind of fluid thinking and talking and musing is that I tend to ramble. Maybe that's a sign of a mental disorder. My understanding is that incoherent thoughts are symptoms of schizophrenia. I definitely had, I don't know, maybe rambling is just part of not being very organized as a person instead of necessarily being a disorder, but this game is pretty fun, though. You're gonna need to find a bench here pretty soon. If you're wondering why I'm even posting videos at all, considering they're not necessarily very popular, there's a number of good reasons. Or I shouldn't say good. I can't assume what other people are gonna think about my reasons for doing anything, but the reasons that I like, or that I am justifying this with, is that one, I like the idea that my voice is going to be around for a while. If I still have people who care about me when I get older, and they can't have these sorts of conversations with me, then they can come here and maybe feel like they're having that conversation, or at the very least just hear my voice. One of the things that kind of bothered me about my dad's passing and my uncle's passing is my grandma's passing. You kind of forget things as time passes. Sometimes it's hard to like imagine their face or their voice. And I just think, kind of like the same reason we keep photos of people around, having recordings of people that you care about would also be nice. So I guess part of it is for posterity's sake, as I guess you might say. Second reason is if I'm playing a boss that I am having a hard time with, I can record it. And I can then watch my recording and see what mistakes I'm making. And it's funny that it's kind of like watching football tapes, because you notice things differently than when you're playing. I've noticed when watching a video of you fighting a boss. Or when watching somebody else fight the same boss, you're like, oh, well, you could easily dodge this by doing this. So, second reason is kind of to review my work, I guess. And the third reason is that I kind of wanna, well, number one, I like sharing things with people that I care about. It's kind of a big motivator for why I do things. Like if I'm taking a picture on Instagram of like a beautiful scene or something like that, or some food that I've made, or some music that I've listened to, you know, it's because I want to share it with people that I care about, and it's a big motivator for a lot of the things that I do. And of course, if you beat a boss that's really tough and just manage to record it, it's kind of nice to show off a little bit too. But anyway, yeah, that's it for the first of my musings, an introduction to the musings as it is. I hope you guys have a good day, and you're important and valid no matter who you are, and there's a place on this world for everyone.